What is biotechnology? Let's look at this vast field in science. Biotechnology is a branch of science involved in developing new products, methods, and organisms using biological principles which are intended for the betterment of human health and society. Since the beginning of civilization, scientists and researchers are on the go for discovering different products and technologies for betterment of mankind. Biotechnology is main hub in these researches. This field has existed since early civilizations that included fermentation and domestication of plants and animals. These methods were introduced by biotechnology earlier. Next, we look at different disciplines in biotechnology. The early products that involved biotechnology were the production of vaccines and the formation of bread. However, from the last century, this field has evolved rapidly using biomolecular process of living organisms and making new products. Many disciplines are interlinked with this field of biotechnology. Let's discuss them one by one. Modern biotechnology is developed from disciplines such as molecular biology, chemistry, genetic engineering, genomics, nanotechnology, informatics, etc. Further, we look at different areas in which biotechnology has led to innovations and breakthroughs. Going further, the major areas in which biotechnology has been used are medicines and therapeutics, medical diagnostics, biofuels, and in production of genetically modified organisms (GMOs). In therapeutics, biotechnology helps to cure and prevent diseases. In medical diagnostics, it is used in diagnostic tests such as pregnancy tests. It is also used in producing biofuels that are more sustainable and reduces waste and pollution. It is also used in production of genetically modified organisms that helped in cost-effective agriculture. Next, we look at role of biotechnology in genetic engineering field. Now let's look at the history of biotechnology. Biotechnology began with the agricultural revolution at least 6,000 years ago. It includes genetic makeup of organisms through processes such as selective breeding, etc. Others include process of fermentation that produce products like alcohol, cheese, etc., whereas the process of selective breeding involves breeding in parental organism to produce certain genetic characteristics in their offspring. For example, dogs were selectively breeded to be more docile than their wolf ancestors. Similarly, wheat was selectively breeded to stay on its stem when harvested. However, this shows long time slow progress. What is genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is a vast discipline in the field of biology. By definition, genetic engineering is the direct alteration of an organism's genome, which is achieved through manipulation of DNA. It is achieved through a technique named as recombinant DNA technology. It mainly involves cutting, insertion, or alteration of pieces of DNA for better genetic makeup of an organism. The main focus of genetic engineering is on gene isolation, gene modification, gene removal, and mainly genetic combinations. Now let's explore these processes one by one. In process, since DNA contains genes to build certain proteins, many attempts are made to change sequence of DNA to make a single gene for all organisms so they are capable of performing functions effectively. This is broadly referred as genetically modified organisms (GMOs). To achieve aims, a cloning experiment was done involving four stages that were isolation of DNA fragments, production of recombinant, and introduction of vector, and lastly screening. Next, we see types of biotechnology and their importance. Going towards the types of biotechnology, it is divided into various disciplines represented by coded colors based on their uses and applications. We will discuss them one by one and also see their importance. First, we have red biotechnology. It includes medical processes using organisms to produce new drugs, to regenerate human tissues, growing and regrowing entire organs. Next is white or gray biotechnology that refers to industrial processes like development of biofuels or new chemicals. Green biotechnology covers agricultural practices like producing pest-resistant crops, disease-resistant animals, etc. Next, we look at some other types of biotechnology, explaining their importance. Going further, next type is golden biotechnology, also known as bioinformatics, is an interconnection between informatics and biological processes. It involves gathering of analytical data for treatment of patients. Converting aquatic biomass into fuels in marine environment is blue biotechnology. Process that aid in food like fermentation of yeast and cheese is called yellow. All laws and ethical standards governing biotechnology are included in violet discipline, while dark is the use of biotechnology for weapons or warfare. There are many applications of biotechnology like bioremediation, GMO foods, cover crops, etc. It makes biotechnology an ever-evolving field with great potential for future.